Greetings, schemers of the internets. I'm Dave Makes Noises. Welcome to MrRipper. Now break out your devious machinations and best laid plans, because today we're asking the community, what have you got planned for your big bad evil guy? Technically, in my current campaign, my big bad evil guy has already won. After ascending to demonhood after sacrificing the mercenary band he'd gathered over the years, he successfully managed to slay his angelic ancestor, stealing his angelic body for himself. Fuse an ancient demon, equally ancient devil, and a brain-dead eldritch horror together and bind them into an ancient tree that also acts as an archfey patron and permanent entry point into the Feywilds, thus creating the Armageddon World Tree. Name pending, that bridges and overlaps several different planes onto the material plane and locks them in place. Now all the world is basically an ultra nightmare realm as the monsters run rampant, supercharged by the Armageddon World Tree, and demons, devils, and extraplanar entities alike, under the control of the Armageddon World Tree, continue to do its bidding, harvesting the souls of sentient creatures to then be absorbed into the Armageddon World Tree and converted into new nightmarish amalgam monsters. The only true bastion of humanity is the Silver City of Hawkmoon, capital of the only fully functional nation of Berseria, name pending, which is controlled entirely by Hawkrin, the aforementioned big bad evil guy ascended demon wearing the polymorphed body of an angel. The city itself is immaculate, and Berseria, while still a harsh and unforgiving place, is the least difficult place to live in the world. It is maintained by Hawkrin's holy army of the Silvered Hawk, a 100,000 strong army of humans turned monsters created by ritual, both alchemical and mystical, as well as imbibing a chalice of Hawkrin's blood, which contains a volatile mixture of celestial and infernal energies. The citizenry is fully aware of the army, but have been led to believe that the transformation, sans the blood drinking, which is kept under wraps, is a selfless act of sacrifice to help protect the people, and that Hawkrin himself is basically a messianic figure sent from the Celestia to safeguard them in their darkest hour. What's worse is they're technically correct, as he and his army of oathbound monsters are the only thing keeping the uncountable nightmares that he invented into the world at bay. Currently, the party has just entered Berseria. They're refugees from the outlying fallen countries and are trying to decide on how they're going to destroy the Armageddon World Tree, since it was unanimously agreed upon that it was priority number one, and then how to go about destroying Hawkrin and his evil empire. Little bit of info for my campaign and how it's run. It's a homebrew world run in 5th edition. Homebrew pantheon, some homebrew magic items, even homebrew subclasses, some relevance for my plans. My players are my wife, Eldrira Druckenwell, Scourge Azamar, Oath of the Ancients Paladin, great race for an ancient paladin. My brother-in-law, Zara bint Samara, Fire Genasi Jinn Origin Sorcerer, and their cousin Elgath, Goliath Grave Domain Cleric. In addition, there are some NPCs that are currently traveling with them. Bree, a fallen Azamar fighter, Sapphira, a human wizard. The asterisk is there for a reason. My party is currently on their way to the Paladin's hometown after having received a letter from her father, who is the port town's captain of the guard. What they don't know is I have been building to this section on the story for a long time now, and things I've been planning out are starting to come together. My party is going to be contending with a false Hydra for this portion of the campaign. Now, those usually require a lot of careful planning to pull off right, so let me elaborate on how I've set the stage so far. First, the party doesn't fully realize that they have a cleric with them who is healing them. The way I work around this is that I say to the players that they feel as though they are catching their second wind, or feeling the adrenaline numb their pain, or have even cut the damage they received down. I don't overuse this, but I am giving them what on the outside looks like DM generosity. This cleric is tied heavily to my wife's paladin, and her character is the one this story arc is focused heavily on. In rolling up her character, she said that her paladin once had a lover who is no longer around, saying it was because of prejudice against half-elven kind. The cleric is a high elf. What she doesn't know is that the cleric is still around, and is her character's husband. I plan on having the cleric get killed in the process to make them realize while they are there, or even afterwards, just how horrifying things were/are. My party is making their way there now, and by the time they get there, I want them to feel a little bit on edge. So to that end, I'm having them run into a previously killed enemy of the Paladins, one that the Paladin got mad over and, in a fit of anger, disfigured the guy's dead corpse. This enemy is known as Kogan the Wretched, an orc war chief who has previously raided the town my Paladin hails from. I plan on bringing him back as a sword wraith from Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. Hopefully seeing the previously dead enemy shakes the party a bit. The second part of getting them on edge revolves around the wizard traveling with them. The players know this already, but in character, what the party fails to realize is that the wizard is actually a banished avatar, one of the direct children of the gods, divine beings with authority over their domain. However, she has had her divinity and immortality stripped and sentenced to live a mortal life till she can repent. She retains some of her celestial nature, this manifesting in the fact that she does not age, but also I plan on having her be able to see through the charm of the false Hydra. The party is just going to assume she's going mad until they figure out themselves what is going on and the charm is blocked. Overall, I plan on making this a psychological horror arc in a way, but I'm looking forward to doing this. Super late to this, but first time DM because I don't trust other DMs. Let's just say that my first D&D game turned me off from it till I met my wife and her brother. Anyways, there's a mysterious bad guy who is trying to resurrect his old god Riptovia. He's captured a family of dragons that he believes will help him with the ritual. The party made it to the main city and met a guy called Rot. He tells us about an item scattered across the globe. Their whole campaign will be collecting the 3 pieces of the item, and along the way they will rescue the dragon family. After they collect the pieces and give them to Rot, however, he's going to disappear. Heading to the ominous tower that has swirling dark magic at the top, they will come face to face with Rot. He was secretly the big bad evil guy who wanted to summon Riptovia. He will summon the dragons that he thinks are on his side. They will come down and help the players annihilate the bad guy. His final words will be, "You know the last part needed for the ritual to work? The life of a worshipper." After Rot dies, Riptovia will show up. 100-foot-tall, one-eyed monster with tentacles that sweep the game area, shoots poisoned barbs at the party, and has a charged eye laser that will destroy the dragons in 3 turns, leaving them all alone to fight the true big bad evil guy, tweaked beholder made to fight like the Destroyer from the first Borderlands video game. My big bad evil guy is basically the Monopoly guy, but exactly as he's portrayed in the music video for Disturbed's cover of Land of Confusion, except he's not monstrously huge. This campaign takes place in the late 90s, early 2000s, and features Arnold Schwarzenegger and the Olsen twins as NPCs. Yeah, you heard me right. It's a modern campaign with electricity instead of magic, and the wizard class is replaced by a scientist class. The party have spent the campaign facing off against the perverse and horrific experiments unleashed upon the land by a mad archwizard, big bad evil guy. They now assail his very tower, the final dungeon, and have just acquired his journal in one of the demi-planar laboratories. It is a meticulously cataloged record of the procedure of creating his foul experiments, as well as the test results and observations from each encounter the party has had. Right back to the first adventure, when zombies attacked the tavern. It was quite the handout, and out of character we had a great time reading through it, recalling old adventures and piecing together clues and seemingly random events. Unfortunately for the party, the wizard is not mad, nor genocidal, nor seeking lichdom, or the half a dozen other theories that have been floated to his motives over the course of the campaign. He has been trying to prepare as best he could for the impending Far Realm invasion of this realm. It's very difficult for mind flayers to eat your soldiers' brains or slod to chest burst your troops when they are facing animated armors powered by the bound souls of fiends, because, as he found from a previous experiment, the souls of humanoids do not provide suitable or sustainable power. My big bad evil guy for my first game is a Spellweaver Lich. His long goal is to bring death and unbalance back to the land that has been made peaceful and friendly. He's already corrupted and kidnapped all the dwarves in the immediate area, and I gave my players ample chances to intercept quite a few and slow the progress of the big bad evil guy. But nope. They ignored all my clues. His end goal is to use the dwarves to harvest enough material to construct a colossal-sized adamantine dragon warforged frame that his phylactery will power and possess so he can bring death and chaos back to the land. And to date, nothing has been done to slow him down, or even be a thorn in his side enough to deviate. The big bad evil guy might actually win this campaign. My second game has a post-Hunger Games theme. The Tyrant King proved his rule and protection over the other races in each district by hosting the games. Winner each year was granted citizenship and freed from the duties of the district they came from. Enough of these appointed citizens finally banded together and had an uprising, killing the king. Quite a few died, with several more escaping to the Four Winds. The king's son wants to take the throne and make it a peaceful nation instead of an oppressed nation. So he is having each district place a Mind League stone in the crown that the party is carrying to each place. Only the king made an alternative deal for his soul to the demon that claimed it. Each stone will directly connect to each emissary, and once placed on the prince's head at the coronation, will rip the souls out of each emissary, including the prince, in return for putting his own soul in the prince's body. And the party doesn't know they are making this happen. If any of my players, Glenn, Victoria, Jess, Dev, see this, look away now. I like to run a different big bad evil guy for each major story arc, but I do have a grand finale big bad in the works who has been hinted at and is a major crux for several players' backstory goals. Rekarm, the Forgotten God, one of the original creator deities of the world who gave the mortal beings the gift of free will, the pseudo-Prometheus. For his crime, the other gods banished him to a small plane hidden within the plane of dreams. But now that the other gods are trapped behind the celestial gate, he has more freedom than them. Under the guise of a traveling circus, he visits the other planes, both to entertain, but to also recruit new members of his show. The final test for my party will be to find a way to the plane of dreams, locate this pocket dimension, make it through a massive carnival of loyal servants from all across the planes, and finally take down Rekarm, the god of dreams. The best part is that he's not totally evil. The ones he brings into his fold are those that few would miss, known as the Lost, and he is more than happy to appease the wills and dreams of mortals. Salutations, sweet snack cake of serenity, streaming swiftly through the solar system on Spaceship Earth, and to anyone else out there that happens to be tuning in with us as well today, thank you for internetworking your precious consciousness with our own, and for doing so until the very end of this video. If you've been scheming up some surprises for your big bad evil guy, we want to hear about it in the comments section below. And if you've got another story you wanted to share with us, you may do so on our official subreddit, r/MrRipper, or on another MrRipper video that is perhaps on the topic of the story that you have been hoping to share with us. If you'd like, please go and watch another video. I love you. Thanks. If you're a DM or a player looking for a group and you'd like to keep it virtual, we've got a Discord server with our name on it. That's right. MrRipper's Group Finder, manifested into existence to help you find your tabletop gaming group. This week, I hope you read something interesting or pick up a new D&D book. I think I'm gonna buy Dragon Heist. I feel like I want to try my hand at running a campaign. We'll keep you posted on that, I'm sure. Anyways, if you love me and want to bring me joy, you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Dave Makes Noises. Thank you again for watching till the end. We're so glad you joined us today. Please sub for Nat 20s. Click the notification bell if you're into that sort of thing. I know I am. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.